Hey collectors, got a little bit of a different video today. I'm going to be using Nic-a-Date to reveal dates on a variety of undated buffalo nickels. I got just a little over 2 rolls of them. Pretty sure some have dates and some don't. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sort through them, divide them between the dates and the non-dates. These are buffalo nickels I've gotten over the years from either coin roll hunting or just from my general collection from when I was a kid. And then those that are missing dates, we're gonna use Nic-a-Date, which is an acid that does damage coins, but for buffalo nickels that don't have any dates, it's the only way for you to be able to see what date it is. And we're gonna be looking for low mintage nickels, key dates, where it does make sense to use Nic-a-Date to find the year. Or any key varieties. All right, with that said, let me get these sorted out between date and dateless, and then we'll get back in and see what we're able to do. Alrighty, I got these sorted out into 3 groupings. I have 36 of these, almost a roll, that have dates, 31 that look like are viable to use Nic-a-Date on, and then about maybe like another 20 that are really so far, so very worn that I'm not gonna even bother using Nic-a-Date on. So we'll focus on the 31. All right, so we have the first one we're gonna Nic-a-Date. As you can see, the date is worn. There's no real trace of it. There's no mint mark on the back of this one. We'll get Nic-a-Date on in 1 second. Okay, so we put a little Nic-a-Date on in the spot where the date is. I don't know if you can tell, but a date is beginning to show up. Let me see if I can zoom in and focus. So that looks like a 1918 is beginning to show. A little hard to get a good focus on. There we go. We're gonna leave it on for a few more seconds. I don't think that's the 1917 over 18 or 18 over 17 variety. I forget which is the specific variety, but notice that the acid in the Nic-a-Date, and we may have used a little too much as it's going past the date area, is beginning to show. What we'll do is we'll use a cotton swab to clean off the Nic-a-Date, and we'll see if we can see the date on it without damaging the coin too much. All right, and then boom, take a look. We got the Nic-a-Date off. You see how it does cause a little damage to the coin. So this one is 1918. The variety is a 1918D 8 over 7. That's not this one. This was from Philadelphia. But this one has 32 million minted, so very common. Not a particularly low mintage on this one. But you know what? We'll go through a bunch more, see if we can find any varieties. We'll be looking for 1914 over 3, well 4 over 3 rather, 1916 double die, and anything else of interest. So we'll get going on those. Second one here, and as you can see, it's really hard to get a mint date out of this one. This one has been very badly worn. In fact, the Nic-a-Date really was not much of a help. If anything, it looks like another 1918, but frankly, it's hard to tell. And that's the thing with Nic-a-Date. It really depends on how badly worn it is. Sometimes you can get a date out, and sometimes you can't. So you got to use your judgment carefully on how you want to use this product. I'm going to go through a bunch more. We'll see what we're able to find. Maybe we'll find something good. All right, we got the third coin in. I used pretty close to the amount that I prefer to use, maybe just a little too much, but I don't know if you could tell, but I can already see a date peeking through. This one looks like a 1917. This is a Philadelphia minted coin because I did not find a mint mark on the back, and the back is in pretty good shape. If this is a 1917, which I'm pretty sure it is, we're looking at over 51 million minted. So again, very common date, but we'll clean this up shortly and I'll bring you back in. Here we go. 1917, very clearly legible. Again, not a particularly valuable coin. You know, in this condition without the Nic-a-Date, you're looking at maybe about $5, maybe with the Nic-a-Date, probably $1 or $2. But still, it's nice to have a buffalo nickel from the 1917s. All right, collectors, so I let a little bit of time elapse between the treatment of the Nic-a-Date and when I first filmed it to now, a couple hours. And I wanted to show you that the Nic-a-Date sections do reoxidize pretty quickly. Still legible, but you can see that the section that was bright before, after the Nic-a-Date was applied, has become this dark gray. You can still see the date, although it's not as clear as it was before. One other thing I wanted to mention is that after you remove the Nic-a-Date with a cotton swab, it's really important that you put it in water to get any of the remaining acid off. I didn't film that before, but I just wanted to emphasize that, so when you apply Nic-a-Date to your coins, you follow that. Luckily, it is on the label, so nothing to worry about there. One other thing I wanted to mention is I also use this to help fill in any gaps in my collection. That's a great way to do placeholder coins until you get upgrades. All right, we're gonna start getting to the rest of these to see if I find anything. Again, these are all Philadelphia mints, but I am missing a few of them. And again, we're on a hunt for any varieties. All right, just wanted to show you this one. It's an oldie, it's 1914. A little hard to make out. This one is incredibly well-worn coin. There is absolutely no legends left. You can't see Liberty. Can't really see any detail at all other than just the outline of the Indian head, but we were able to manage getting a date, 1914, and we got another 1917 here. Very clearly legible now that we put the Nic-a-Date on it. Before, completely worn off. Again, this is out of Philly, so nothing particularly special about this common date, and I already have it in my album, but it's great to be able to get the date. I wanted to show everyone what a proper amount of Nic-a-Date looks like. Just a drop directly on the date, trying to avoid getting it into the main fields of the Indian. This has been on for a few seconds. We're just beginning to see a date, and it looks like another early one, 1915. We'll get this one rinsed off in a few minutes and we'll show it. And here we go, 1915. And we got one here, another one from 1920. Pretty nice looking. Here's the next one. Just wanted to do a little bit of the before. Just wanted to show you the coin with Nic-a-Date on it. All right, and here's the after. It's a little hard to make out, but I'm pretty sure that's a 1919. If you stare at it close enough, you see the first 9 and look at the shape of the second 9. Could be also 1916, but I'm pretty sure this is a 1919 pile. But as you can see, you can actually make out a faint 1919, so I will be leaving this one alone. Hey collectors, just wanted to see what the Nic-a-Date rinsed water looks like after about 7 coins. You can see it's slightly orangish. I don't like getting it much darker than this. I usually get fresh water. Let me go do that, and we'll show a few more. Okay, here are a few more that have just been cleaned up. And as you can see, a very common date, another 1917. We'll take a look at the next one. Another 1917. As you can see, it's not always as clear. It really depends on the starting condition. Here we got a 1916. And let me zoom in a bit, because there is a 16/16 variety, which is going to be really hard to make out with the Nic-a-Date. I don't see it on this one. We'll get one more out of this batch and another 1917. All right, here's one more, also 1916, much clearer than the last 1916 I pulled out, but no 16/16 double die variety on this one. All right, we're gonna look at the last 5. And here we got, it's really hard to make out, but this looks like a 1924 out of Philly. Here's the next coin. And as you can see, we got a dud. We weren't able to get a date out of this one. No matter how long I left it on, it just did not yield anything. This coin was too far gone. It's a shame because Liberty is still legible, but I am not able to make out a date at all on this one. This one, however, we got a really nice clean date, 1916. Another common date year. You've seen a bunch of them in this hunt. That one really stands out. All right, we got a 1918. Could be 16, but I'm thinking it's more of an 18 because the cross going, I don't know if you're able to see it, but yeah, that looks like a 1918 to me. And unfortunately, with the next one, it looks like another dud. Actually, it's pretty scratched up, and I didn't see the scratches before I applied the Nic-a-Date. I do see a 9, and there's a shadow of a 1. This could be 1916 if I was squinting, but hard to make it out on this one. All right, we're going to wrap this video up with this last one. Very fitting. It's another 1917. So there you go. That's how you use Nic-a-Date on Buffalo nickels. As you can see, it works in the majority of cases, very depending upon the grade of the coin. I hope you found this video informative. Please remember to subscribe. When I get 25 subscribers, if you comment in that video that has the 25 subscribers, you will be entered into a drawing to win coins that were featured in this video, which I'm going to put a link to. All right, guys, until the next time.